I used to believe that life had a rhythm, a kind of order to it. You wake up, you go to work, you come home. There's dinner, there's laughter, you kiss your wife goodnight, you hug your daughter before bed. Everything falls into place, just as it should. But those moments, they don't last forever. They never do. You don't realize it at the time, but those quiet moments are the ones you're supposed to hold on to the hardest. And I didn't. I couldn't. I look at the pictures of Mary and me, and I can almost hear her laugh, soft and comforting, like a melody I'd come to depend on. I should have seen the cracks. I should have noticed that things weren't as perfect as they seemed, but it was easy to ignore them. Easy to tell myself that the world would always be the same, that we would always be this happy, this whole, that we could always count on each other. But life has a way of stealing everything you take for granted. It takes your happiness and turns it into something you can only hold in your memory. It takes your family, your sense of security, and strips it away like an old coat that's no longer useful, and you're left there in the cold, holding nothing but a past you can't touch anymore. I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think I'd be the one sitting here, in this empty house, listening to the echo of my own heartbeat. I thought I had more time, more moments, more chances to say the things I never said, to do the things I never did, to protect her, but I didn't. And now Mary's gone, just like that, and I'm left with a broken heart and a daughter who doesn't even know who I am anymore. It's funny how everything changes in an instant. One phone call, one knock on the door, and your whole world falls apart. They say grief comes in waves, but what they don't tell you is that it's not like the ocean, smooth and rhythmic. No, grief is like a storm. It hits you when you least expect it, and you're left gasping for air, trying to stay afloat. I remember when they told me she was gone, how I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think, I couldn't even feel. It was like I was already dead, but somehow still walking around, pretending to live. And Emma, my daughter, she used to be the light of my life. I can remember her face when she was little, so full of wonder, so full of hope. She used to look at me like I was invincible, like I could protect her from anything. And for a while, I believed that too, that I could keep her safe, that nothing bad would ever happen to us. But then, it did, and I couldn't protect her. I couldn't protect either of them. And now she's the one I can't save. What happened to her? Where did she go? The girl who used to be so full of life, who laughed at the smallest things, is gone. In her place is someone I don't recognize. Someone who doesn't care about what's right or wrong. Someone consumed by rage. And that rage? It's aimed at me. I remember the first time she screamed at me. Her words hit me like a slap to the face, each one cutting deeper than the last. "You killed her," she said. "You killed her." Like I was the one who decided it would end this way. Like I had some control over fate. I never even saw it coming. I never thought that she would turn on me like that. I never thought she could hate me. I've been trying to make sense of it all. I've been going through every detail of Mary's death, over and over again, hoping I missed something, anything that would explain it. But I can't find the answer. All I have are questions. Did I miss a sign? Did I miss the warnings? Could I have done something differently? But no, it doesn't matter now. Because Mary's gone, and I'm still here. And Emma, she's different now. She's angry, and I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix her. And every time I try to talk to her, every time I reach out, it feels like I'm just making it worse. She's pushing me away, but I can't let her go. She's my daughter. I tried to be a good father. I tried to do what was right. But somewhere along the way, I lost my way. Somewhere between work and taking care of Mary and trying to be everything everyone needed me to be, I didn't see what was happening. I didn't see the change in Emma. And now I can't even look at her without feeling like I failed. She's become someone else, a stranger who holds me responsible for things I didn't do, a stranger who hates me for reasons I can't understand. And I can't help her. I don't know how to make it right anymore. But what's worse is the fear that maybe, just maybe, I'm not the victim here. Maybe I'm the cause. Maybe, in the end, I'm the reason she's become this thing I don't recognize. Maybe I'm the one who pushed her to the edge. Maybe I was so lost in my grief that I didn't see her falling into her own darkness. Maybe, just maybe, I'm the one who created the monster that now stands in front of me, accusing me of the very thing I never wanted to happen. How do you fix that? How do you fix something that's broken beyond repair? The answer is, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's even worth trying. But one thing I do know, one thing I feel deep down in my gut, is that I can't lose her too. Not like I lost Mary. I can't. I don't know where this journey will take me. I don't know how this story will end, but I know I have to find the truth. I have to know what happened to Mary. And maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to save my daughter from herself. Or, at least, save whatever's left of her that I can still reach. I keep going back to that night, the night it happened, the coldness in the air, the dark sky, the kind of silence that only comes with things about to go wrong. She wasn't the type to take risks, not Mary. She was careful, methodical, always the one to check the weather before she left, to check her tires, to make sure everything was in place. It wasn't like her to speed or to make mistakes behind the wheel. So why that night? Why did she suddenly make a wrong turn? Why was she driving down that road at that hour? And why, after all these weeks, do I still feel nothing? Like her death didn't just break my heart, it shattered something inside me that I can't put back together. I tried to get answers from the police, but they gave me nothing. They said it was an open and shut case, that it was just a freak accident. But that's the thing, they wanted me to believe it. They needed me to believe it. I don't know if I'm just looking for something to hold on to, some way to make sense of it all. But the more I think about it, the more it doesn't add up. And the more it doesn't add up, the harder it becomes to accept. It started with the police report. I didn't think much of it at first, after all. They're the professionals, right? But when I looked closer, when I actually read the details, that's when I started to see things that didn't sit right. The report said she was found in the car, no signs of struggle, no evidence of foul play. But I couldn't stop thinking about the lack of details, the lack of clarity. The moment I saw the phrase, "no witnesses" under the accident report, my mind started racing. Why was there no one who saw her? Why wasn't there a single witness on the road that night? It's a main highway, for God's sake. And she wasn't even that far from home. Someone should have seen something. But no one did. Then there was the detail about her phone. They said the accident happened around 10:45 p.m., but when I checked her phone records, there was a text message sent just minutes before the crash. A message to me, telling me she was on her way back. But the timing didn't match. Her phone had been active just before the crash, but when they found her, it had gone silent. I can't tell you how many times I went over it, line by line. It's like there's a gap in the timeline that no one wants to explain. At first, I thought maybe I was imagining things. Maybe I was just grieving, and it was all getting to me. But the more I dug, the more I found. And the more I found, the more my suspicions grew. There was one person, one name that kept popping up in her past. A shadow I had never noticed before. His name was Henry Abbott. She'd never mentioned him to me, not once. But his name appeared in the paperwork, in a list of old contacts, people she'd known from her college days. He was listed as someone she'd kept in touch with over the years. I couldn't understand it. Why had she never mentioned him? It wasn't like Mary to keep secrets. It didn't make sense. So I started to dig into him, trying to find out what I could. But the more I searched, the more I realized Henry wasn't just someone from her past. He was someone who had more to do with her life than I ever knew. And that's when I found it. The first thing I found was the phone number. It was saved in her contacts, but I'd never seen it before. I don't know how I missed it all these years. I thought we were close. But that name, Henry, it kept coming back to me like a haunting echo. I called the number. I shouldn't have, but I did. I had to know. I needed to know what had been going on between them, if anything, if I was just paranoid or if there was something more to it. The phone rang twice before it went to voicemail, and when it did, I didn't expect what I heard. It wasn't just a simple voicemail message. No, it was something else. The message was full of static, a hiss like the sound of a bad connection. And then, through the crackle, I heard it. A voice. A man's voice. He didn't say his name. He didn't even leave a message. But the tone of his voice, I'll never forget it. Cold, distant, like he knew exactly who I was. Like he was waiting for me to call. And the worst part? I know this sounds insane, but I swear, I heard the faintest sound of Mary's name in the background. I can't explain it. Maybe it was my mind playing tricks on me. But that sound, it's the one thing I can't shake. Now I'm left with more questions than answers. More doubts. I don't know what to believe anymore. And the worst part? The worst part is that no one will help me. The police won't take me seriously. They won't investigate further. They've already closed the case. They've already written it off. But I can't let it go. I can't just accept that she's gone, that it was an accident. Because deep down, I know. I know someone out there has something to do with this. Someone who wants me to believe it was nothing more than a simple mistake. But I won't be fooled. I don't know how far I'm willing to go to find the truth. I don't know what lengths I'll reach, what I'll have to sacrifice. But I can't stop now. I have to find out who did this. I have to know the truth. And if it means tearing apart every piece of her past, every shadow she kept hidden, then so be it. I'll do whatever it takes. Because one thing's for sure. This wasn't just an accident. And whoever's responsible, they're going to pay. Grief is a strange thing. It clouds your mind, suffocates your thoughts, but somewhere, deep down, there's a spark that refuses to die. I thought I'd let it go. I thought I'd let it be, chalk it up to fate, to a tragic accident that none of us could have predicted. But that spark, it kept growing. The questions, the doubts, they gnawed at me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mary's face. Every time I looked at Emma, I saw a broken reflection of her mother. But there was something else there too. A flicker, a hint of something more, something I couldn't ignore. I kept hearing it, that voice in the back of my head telling me it wasn't an accident, that something wasn't right. The police had closed the case. They told me it was done, that I should move on. But I couldn't. I couldn't stop thinking that I was missing something, and I wasn't going to find peace until I understood the truth. The house felt like a tomb, quiet, still. Every room a reminder of what I had lost. Every corner a memory that wouldn't let me go. But I couldn't stop. I had to go through her things. I had to understand what was in her past, what had led to this. If there was a connection, anything that could explain the way she'd died, I had to find it. Had to understand what was in her past, what had led to this. If there was a connection, anything that could explain the way she'd died, I had to find it. I started with the things she'd left behind. Her desk, the drawer she always kept locked. I'd never gone through her things before, out of respect, out of love. But now, all that respect felt like nothing more than a barrier keeping me from the truth. So I opened it. There were old receipts, letters from friends I didn't recognize, and papers that made no sense. But then I found the file. It wasn't marked. It wasn't anything that stood out at first. But when I opened it, I saw her handwriting, her careful, precise scrawl. And in it, there were names I didn't recognize, people she'd met, people I hadn't known about, things I didn't understand. I took the file and sat on the floor, piecing through it page by page, trying to make sense of it. There were dates, numbers, and then a name kept appearing. Henry Abbott. There it was again. That name. That damn name that kept showing up, haunting me in ways I couldn't explain. He wasn't just a distant figure from her past. He was someone involved in her life. But how? Why had she kept him a secret from me? I couldn't stop. I had to know more. So I started calling the numbers she'd written down. Most of them went unanswered or disconnected. But one number, still worked. I called it, and the silence that followed felt like an eternity. Then a voice picked up. It was his voice. I recognized it immediately, though it had been years. Henry Abbott. I don't know what I expected when I heard his voice, but it wasn't this. It wasn't the calm, detached tone that came through the receiver. Like he had no idea who I was, like this was just another day for him. He didn't ask who I was, didn't seem surprised to hear from me at all, like he was waiting for it. When I tried to ask him about Mary, about what he knew, he dodged me, gave me vague answers, excuses. I haven't talked to her in years, he said. I don't know why you'd be asking about her now. His voice was cold, like a mask I couldn't see through, but I could hear the cracks in it, the hesitation, and that made me want to push even harder. The more I uncovered, the worse it got. The more I tried to understand, the deeper I fell into a pit of questions I couldn't answer. I started looking into her old friends, her colleagues, people I had never met, people she hadn't mentioned in years, and they all told me the same thing. Mary was always so kind, so trusting. I never thought she'd get mixed up with someone like Henry. They said it with this strange hesitation in their voices, like they were all hiding something too. I began to understand that this wasn't just about her past, it was about his past. Henry Abbott wasn't just some forgotten acquaintance. He was part of a world Mary had left behind, a world I hadn't known about. A world she'd never told me about. And as I searched more, I started to see the pattern. The pieces that didn't add up. The way Mary's life had intersected with Henry's, how she'd pulled away from him for years. But he had kept trying to come back. I found letters long, apologetic letters that he'd written her. Letters she'd never shown me. I found a few texts between them on her old phone. Nothing overtly incriminating, but the tone was too familiar, too intimate for someone who was supposed to be a stranger. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just an accident. Mary hadn't just died in a crash. Something had happened. Something had pushed her back into his orbit. Maybe it was just that she'd never fully escaped him. Maybe something darker had unfolded between them. Something that led to this moment. I had to keep going. I couldn't stop now. The pieces were falling into place, but there was still something missing. Still something I didn't understand. And it wasn't just about Mary anymore. It was about Emma, too. Every time I dug deeper, I could feel her pulling further away from me. Her anger, it kept growing. Her eyes, those cold, furious eyes. They seemed to look right through me, like I was the one who'd destroyed everything, like I was the reason her mother was gone. I tried to talk to her, tried to explain why I was doing what I was doing, but she didn't want to hear it. Her pain was too raw. Her anger was too deep. Every time I mentioned Mary's name, it was like I was opening up a wound that would never heal. She blamed me. She blamed me for not protecting her mother, for not seeing the signs, for not knowing who she'd really been. I wanted to tell her everything. I wanted to explain why I was doing this, why I couldn't let it go, but I couldn't. I couldn't even look at her without feeling like I was failing her, failing Mary all over again. I couldn't stop. I had to know what happened to her, even if it meant losing Emma along the way, even if it meant breaking what little was left of us. The deeper I went, the more I understood. There were people in her past who weren't who they seemed, people who had dark secrets, secrets I wasn't ready to face. But there was one thing I knew for sure now. Mary hadn't just been the victim of a tragic accident. No, she'd been caught in a web of something much bigger. And if I didn't find the truth, if I didn't tear the veil off this lie, I would never have peace. Not now. Not ever. I began to piece together the timeline. Victor Dell had disappeared just days before her death. The man I was starting to see in my mind's eye wasn't the man Mary had known, not the one I had imagined her working with. No, he was something darker now, something more dangerous. And Mary's death? It was a message, a warning. She had been caught in the crossfire of something much bigger than both of us. She had been silenced because she knew too much. She had gotten too close to the people who controlled everything. I could feel the walls closing in. I could feel the danger pressing against me like a vice. I wasn't just a grieving husband anymore. I was a man standing on the edge of something he didn't understand. And the more I uncovered, the more I realized that I was involved in this now. I was in too deep, too far gone to back out. I don't know who I can trust anymore. I don't know where this road is going to take me. But I can't stop now. I can't walk away. Not when I'm this close to the truth. But the more I push, the more I feel the danger creeping closer. People like Victor, they don't let you walk away. They don't let you dig into their past and live to tell the tale. The moment I started looking, the moment I started asking the right questions, I became part of the game. And there's no getting out once you're in. I thought I was just trying to find out what happened to my wife. I thought I was just looking for closure. But now I know better. This isn't just about me. This isn't just about Mary. It's bigger than that. And if I don't get out now, if I don't stop digging, I'll never get out. I'll never be able to protect Emma from this darkness. I'm in too deep, and I don't know how to stop. I never thought it would come to this. I never imagined that the grief I felt for Mary would twist me into something I don't recognize. But here I am. I started this search for answers, thinking that finding the truth would give me peace. I thought it would be the closure I needed, but instead, it's consumed me. Every day, every hour, I'm chasing shadows, chasing something that doesn't even feel like justice anymore. It feels like a hunger, a need, a thirst I can't quench. I was supposed to be a father. I was supposed to be a husband. I was supposed to protect my family, not tear it apart. But the more I dug, the more I realized there's no going back now. It wasn't just about Mary anymore. It wasn't about getting answers. It was about revenge, about making them pay for what they did to her, what they did to me. I could feel it taking over this darkness, this rage that was slowly filling me, pushing out everything else. I thought I could stop, but the more I learned, the more I realized just how deep this went, how much danger I was in. And still, I kept going, because it wasn't just about her death anymore. It was about making them pay for everything. I started gathering everything I could, anything that could help me, weapons, tools, information. I felt like a man on the edge of something, like a soldier preparing for battle, even though I didn't know who the enemy was. I tracked down names of people who had been involved with Mary's life, who had been involved in the mess she'd left behind. I found them all, the ones who were still alive, anyway, and I started knocking on doors. Victor Dell. I didn't know where he was. He disappeared after Mary's death. But there were whispers, rumors, and I followed every lead I could find. Every time I got close, I felt like I was on the edge of something bigger, like I was opening a door that would change everything. But every time I thought I had the answer, I was faced with another dead end, another piece of the puzzle that didn't fit, and every time I felt like I was losing control, like I was standing on the edge of something I couldn't handle, I reminded myself, I had to keep going. I had to make them pay. If I didn't, I might as well have been giving up on Mary, on everything she had died for. I didn't realize it at first, not until it was too late, but there was a price to this path I was on, a price that wasn't just mine to pay. Emma, I didn't see it at first. She was slipping away from me, too. Every time I came home late, every time I left without saying a word, every time I was too focused on my next move to see her, it was like I was abandoning her all over again. I was supposed to be there for her. I was supposed to help her heal, but instead, I was destroying her in my pursuit of vengeance. I didn't know how far it had gone until one night she came to me. Her eyes were red, filled with anger and hurt, but most of all, confusion. She didn't know who I was anymore. I couldn't see it then, but I see it now. I was too far gone, too consumed by my need for revenge to see that I was losing her. She stood there, her fists clenched, her face twisted with the kind of fury that I knew all too well. She accused me of abandoning her, of choosing vengeance over her, over our family. And she was right. I hadn't been there for her when she needed me the most. I had let my grief consume me, and in doing so, I had forgotten the one thing that mattered more than revenge. Her. The look in her eyes, it was like I was looking at a stranger. A girl who had lost her mother and now felt like she was losing her father, too. I could see it then, the damage I had done. But it was too late. I was already too far gone. "You're just like them," she said. "You're just like the people who took her from us." Her words hit harder than any punch could. I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know how to fix it. But I kept going. I couldn't stop. Not now. The deeper I went, the more I realized the full scope of this mess. The conspiracy was bigger than I'd ever imagined. There were people behind this, people who had wanted Mary gone for a long time. People who had used her, manipulated her, and when she became a liability, they got rid of her. They had orchestrated her death. It wasn't just some random accident. It was planned, and I was in the middle of it now. My family, my life. It was all caught up in this web of lies, power, and destruction. But I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn away now. Every time I thought about backing down, I thought about Mary. I thought about her final moments, the terror in her eyes, the pain she must have felt. And I thought about Emma. She was scared. She was hurting. And I didn't know how to protect her anymore. The world I was stepping into, it wasn't a world I could shield her from. It was too big, too dangerous. And I couldn't promise her safety anymore. I wasn't the man I used to be. Not anymore. I could see the changes in myself, the coldness in my eyes, the anger that simmered just below the surface, ready to explode, the hunger for revenge that had replaced everything else inside me. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror anymore. This wasn't the man Mary had loved. This wasn't the man I had once been. And the worst part? I didn't care. I didn't care anymore. My need for vengeance had taken over everything. My family, my own humanity, it was all slipping away. I thought I could protect Emma from all of this. I thought I could keep her safe while I fought to make things right. But I was wrong. I was just dragging her deeper into this hell with me. Every lie I uncovered, every person I tracked down, was another step closer to a world I could never escape. A world where I was the one causing the destruction, not the one trying to fix it. I didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't know if I could stop now, even if I wanted to. I didn't know if Emma would ever forgive me. But one thing was clear, there was no going back. I had crossed the line. And nothing would ever be the same again. It's funny how things can change in the blink of an eye. One minute, you're just another man, lost in his grief. The next, you're standing on the edge of something you can't undo. I've spent so much time chasing the shadows of the past, trying to piece together the fragments of Mary's life, uncovering the secrets she kept from me. But none of that mattered now. Not anymore. Not when I was finally standing face to face with the man who had taken everything from me. Victor Dell. He wasn't just a name anymore. He was a man. A real, living, breathing man who had orchestrated everything. He had been behind the lies, the manipulation, the death of my wife. And now I had him, right in front of me. I had hunted him down. I had followed every lead, every whisper in the dark, until I finally found him isolated, vulnerable. It should have felt like victory. It should have felt like justice. But instead, all I felt was this, hollow ache. This emptiness inside me that was too big for vengeance to fill. He didn't look like a villain. That's the thing about people like Victor, they don't wear their evil on their sleeves. He was calm, controlled, like a man who had already made peace with the darkness in his soul. And when he saw me, when he realized who I was and what I had come for, he didn't flinch. He didn't even seem surprised. "I knew you'd come for me eventually," he said, his voice low and even. "But I didn't think you'd make it this far." And there it was. The arrogance, the indifference, the same coldness that had led to Mary's death, the same coldness that had made him think he could get away with everything. But I wasn't here for answers anymore. I wasn't here for a conversation. I was here for justice. Or maybe I was just here to make him feel what I felt, what we all felt. The rage, the pain, the crushing weight of loss. I walked closer to him. Each step was a reminder of how far I'd fallen, how far I'd come from the man I used to be, the man who would have called the police, the man who would have made sure justice was done the right way. But now I wasn't sure. Now I was just a man with a single, burning question. Who would I be when this was over? He looked at me, this man who had destroyed my life, and I felt this strange sense of clarity wash over me. It wasn't just revenge anymore. It wasn't just about killing him, about avenging Mary's death. It was about something deeper, something darker. It was about me, about what I had become, about the man I had let myself turn into. And that's when I heard it. A voice behind me, a voice I knew too well. Emma. She had followed me. She had tracked me down just like I had tracked Victor. Her footsteps were soft, almost hesitant, but I could feel the weight of her presence. I could feel her standing there, watching me, just like I had watched her every move since her mother died. "Dad, stop," she said, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and disbelief. "This isn't who you are. Don't do this. Please." I turned to face her, and for a moment I didn't recognize her. The girl who had once trusted me, who had once looked at me like I was the one man who could protect her, she was gone, replaced by someone who didn't understand what I was doing, didn't understand why I had to finish this. "I can't lose you too," I said, my voice thick with emotion. But as I looked at her, I realized that I already had. I had already lost her. The girl who had cried for her mother. The girl who had needed her father. She was slipping away, and it was my fault. She took a step forward, her face contorted with pain. "You're not doing this for Mom. You're doing it for you. You're doing it because you can't let go. You're doing it because you can't accept that she's gone." Her words hit me harder than anything Victor could say, because deep down I knew she was right. Everything I had done, everything I had become, was because I couldn't face the fact that Mary was gone. And I couldn't face the fact that, in my pursuit of vengeance, I had lost her, and I was about to lose Emma too. Victor was still standing there, watching us, watching me struggle with this choice. And in that moment, I realized something. Victor Dell wasn't just a man I wanted to punish. He wasn't just a killer. He was a symbol of everything I had lost. He represented all the darkness that had consumed me in my search for revenge. And if I killed him, if I took his life, what would that make me? What would it make me to take someone else's life to fill the hole Mary left behind? I was standing at a crossroads. I could take his life. I could end this nightmare and find some kind of closure. But it wouldn't bring Mary back. It wouldn't heal the wounds. It would only make things worse. And I could see it in Emma's eyes. She knew it too. She knew that I was on the verge of crossing a line I would never come back from. "You're right," I said to her. "I've been chasing something I can't have. I've been trying to make up for something that can't be fixed." I looked at Victor. The rage, the anger, all of it was still there, burning inside me. But for the first time, I saw something else. I saw the consequences, the weight of what I was about to do, the cost of it. And in that moment, I understood that my revenge wouldn't bring peace. It wouldn't bring anything but more destruction. I turned to Emma. She was still standing there, her eyes pleading with me, begging me to stop. And in that moment, I knew what I had to do. I lowered the weapon. The rage, the need for vengeance, it didn't disappear, but I chose to walk away from it. I chose to protect her, to protect Emma, because she was the one thing left in this world that mattered, the one thing I hadn't lost. I couldn't let revenge take her too. Victor was still there, but I didn't have to kill him. I didn't have to make him pay the way I had imagined, because the truth was, he had already lost. He had lost everything, and in the end, it wasn't my job to be his executioner. That was a line I wouldn't cross. I walked away, not as a man who had conquered his demons, but as a man who finally understood that revenge wasn't the answer, that it was time to let go. For Mary, for Emma, for me, the choice was mine, and in the end, I chose to live, to rebuild, to fight for what was left. I didn't know if I could ever fix what I had broken, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going to lose Emma too, not like I lost Mary. Revenge. I had always thought of it as the ultimate solution. I thought that if I could just take the pain I felt, if I could just make them pay for what they had done to Mary, I'd be able to put the pieces of my life back together. I thought it would bring me peace. I thought it would bring me justice. But here I am, standing at the end of this dark path, and I'm not sure of anything anymore. I've done it. I've followed through. I've made them pay. The man who killed Mary, the one who set all of this in motion, he's gone. And for a moment, there was a feeling of satisfaction, maybe even triumph. For a moment, it felt like I could finally breathe, like the weight of the world had lifted off my shoulders. But that moment didn't last long. No, because the truth is, I'm not sure what I've gained by taking that life. What I've lost is so much more. I look at Emma now, and it's like I'm seeing her for the first time. She's standing there, so much older than she should be, and the look in her eyes. It's not the look of a daughter who's been healed by her father's vengeance. It's a look of someone who's lost something far deeper than I ever imagined. It's a look of someone who's been betrayed. I thought I was doing this for her. I thought I was avenging her mother, giving her justice, but I've only given her more pain. I've given her a father she can't recognize, a father who's so consumed by revenge that he forgot to see her, to see how much she's hurting, how much she's needed me to heal her, not to drag her deeper into this hell. She's not the same girl I once knew. I see it in her eyes. I feel it in the way she barely speaks to me anymore. And it's my fault. I chose vengeance. I chose the easy way out, the way that felt like it would bring relief, but it didn't. It only pushed her away further. She's distant. She's cold. And I don't blame her. How could I? I've abandoned her, just like I abandoned myself in the pursuit of something that, deep down, I knew would never fix what I lost. I thought killing Victor Dell would be the answer. I thought it would bring a sense of closure. But now that he's gone, I can't help but feel empty. The anger is still there, of course. It's always there, eating away at me, gnawing at my insides. But vengeance didn't heal me. It didn't bring her back. And it sure as hell didn't fix what was broken inside Emma. I thought I could erase the past. I thought I could correct the wrongs of the world by taking his life. But that's not how it works, is it? No, the world doesn't bend to your will, no matter how hard you fight, no matter how much blood you spill. And now I'm left with a choice I should have made a long time ago. I've been running from it, but I can't anymore. Revenge doesn't make things right. It doesn't bring people back. It doesn't make the pain go away. It only adds more pain, more loss. It's a cycle, a never-ending loop that drags you deeper until there's nothing left of the person you once were. I didn't just lose Mary that night. I lost myself. I lost everything that made me who I was. And what's left now? A man who's walked so far into the darkness that he can't even remember the light. And Emma, she's caught in that darkness with me. She's paying the price for something I did, something I chose, and now she's slipping away. She's not the same girl who once relied on me. She's becoming a stranger, and it's my fault. I wanted to protect her. I thought I was protecting her. But what I've done is destroy her trust in me, destroy the one thing she needed: my love, my care, my presence. I thought vengeance would heal her, but all it's done is create more wounds. I can't bring Mary back. I can't undo what I've done. But maybe, just maybe, I can stop the cycle. Maybe, just maybe, I can choose something different. I don't know how. I don't know if it's even possible. But I have to try. I have to find a way to heal, not just for me, but for Emma too, for both of us. I don't know where this path leads, but I know one thing: vengeance won't be enough anymore. It wasn't enough before, and it never will be. What we both need, what we both deserve, is a chance to move forward, a chance to find peace, even if it means leaving the past behind. So I've made my choice. The act of revenge is done. It's over. And maybe, in the end, it was never about Victor Dell. Maybe it was never about the people who took Mary from us. It was about me, about my need to fill the emptiness, to fix something I couldn't fix. But now, I know. I know I can't fix this with more violence, more bloodshed. I can't fix anything by holding on to the anger and the hate. I have to let it go. For Emma, for myself. But letting go isn't easy. It never is. The anger still sits inside me, just beneath the surface. And there are days when I can feel it rising again, threatening to take control. But for the first time, I'm not going to let it. For the first time, I'm going to choose something else. I'm going to choose to live, to rebuild, to heal. I don't know if Emma will forgive me. I don't know if we can ever go back to the way we were. But I know that if we're ever going to move forward, I have to be the one to lead the way. I have to show her that there's more to life than revenge, more to life than pain. And maybe we can both find a way out of the darkness. It won't be easy. I know that. But for the first time in a long time, I'm choosing the path of healing, a path that doesn't rely on vengeance, a path that doesn't rely on the ghosts of the past. It's time to leave it behind. It's strange, how everything can change in the blink of an eye. How, one moment, you're standing at the edge of something dark, something consuming, and the next, you're left with nothing but the echoes of your own choices. I spent so much time chasing the ghosts of the past, so much time looking for answers in the wrong places. And now, here I am, standing in the aftermath of everything I thought I wanted, everything I thought I needed. Revenge didn't fix anything. It didn't bring her back. It didn't give me the peace I thought it would. All it gave me was more pain, more loss, more things I can never undo. I tried to convince myself that what I did was justified, that it was the only way to make things right. But now, with the dust settled, with the violence behind me, I'm not so sure anymore. I thought that if I killed Victor Dell, if I made him pay for what he did to Mary, it would somehow fix the broken pieces inside me. I thought it would bring the closure I needed. But what I found instead was emptiness. The emptiness that comes with realizing that no amount of bloodshed can ever fill the hole that's been left behind. No amount of revenge can bring back the ones we lost. And then there's Emma, my daughter, the girl who, at one point, I would have given anything to protect. The girl who used to look at me like I was her hero. I can still remember the way she used to run to me when she was scared, when she was hurt, how she would trust me to make everything right. But that trust has been shattered. And I'm the one who broke it. I thought that if I did this, if I avenged her mother, it would somehow make her understand. I thought she'd see it as justice, as closure. But she didn't. No, she saw it for what it was. She saw the truth in the darkness I was living in. She saw that, in my pursuit of revenge, I had lost sight of everything that mattered: her, us, the family we once were. She stopped looking at me the same way. She stopped trusting me. She stopped seeing me as her father and started seeing me as just another part of the world that had taken everything from her. And, God, I don't blame her. I don't blame her for hating me. I hated myself too. But what's left now? What do you do when you've reached the end of this dark road and there's nothing left but the wreckage of your choices? What do you do when you've hurt the one person who still loves you, the one person who could still see past all the mistakes? I tried to fix things with Emma. I tried to apologize. I tried to make her understand that I never wanted to hurt her, that I never wanted to become this man. But the truth is, I can't undo what I've done. I can't undo the damage I've caused. And she knows it. She knows that she can't trust me the way she used to. She knows that the father she had before is gone, and I don't know if I can ever be that man again. I can't fix what's broken. I can't give her back the innocence she lost. But I can be here. I can stand by her. I can help her heal, if she'll let me, even if that means giving her space, even if that means stepping back and letting her find her own way out of the pain I helped create. And so, we're here, at the end of this long journey of vengeance, and now we have to find a new way forward. I don't know what that will look like. I don't know if Emma and I will ever be able to fix what's broken between us, but I'm willing to try. I'm willing to walk that road with her, even if it's just a little bit at a time. As for me, I don't know if I can ever forgive myself for what I've done, but I know that I can start over. I can begin the slow, painful process of healing. Not for anyone else, but for me. Because if I don't, then I've really lost everything. There are days when the darkness still lingers, when the anger inside me flares up again, and I wonder if I'm capable of letting go. There are moments when I can't help but think about what I've lost, the man I used to be, the family I had, the life we could have lived. But then I think about Mary. I think about her smile, her laugh, the way she used to hold me at night when everything felt right in the world. And I know that this rage, this anger, it's not what she would have wanted for me. It's not what she would have wanted for Emma. The woman I loved, the woman who gave me everything, wouldn't want me to destroy myself over something I can't change. So I'm trying. I'm trying to let go. I'm trying to find peace, not through revenge, but through forgiveness. Not just of the people who wronged me, but of myself. Because if I can't forgive myself, I'll never be free. The final price of all of this, the toll it's taken on me, on Emma, on everything we once were, I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know if there's a right answer to that question. But I do know one thing. Revenge didn't bring me peace. It didn't bring me justice. It just brought more pain. And maybe, just maybe, the path forward is not in making things right, but in learning to live with what's broken. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if Emma and I will ever be whole again. But I do know that, for the first time in a long time, I'm choosing to live for the future, for the chance to rebuild, for the chance to find a way out of the darkness, for me, for Emma, for Mary. Maybe in time, we'll find a way to heal. Maybe in time, we'll find a way to forgive each other. But I can't carry this anger anymore. I can't carry the weight of vengeance. I can't keep walking down this road. It's time to put the past to rest. I stand here, at her grave, the woman I loved, the woman I lost. And maybe, just maybe, this is where I'll find peace. Not in the revenge I sought, but in the love we shared. The love that can never die.